Two breaking updates just shook things up in Detroit, and it's no exaggeration to say they've raised red flags on opposite sides of the field. One involves a young corner who's becoming the favorite target for every opposing offense. The other highlights an issue fans have been shouting about for a while now, the lack of depth on the edge, which somehow stood out even more after a blowout win. What's really going on with the Lions' defense? And will the front office act before it's too late? Stick around, because the first update already casts serious doubt on the short-term future of our secondary. 2 weeks into the season, and we've already got a bit of a pattern brewing in Detroit, and not the kind that gets coaches sleeping well at night. Terrion Arnold, the Lions' young corner, has found himself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Opposing offenses? They're circling him like sharks in the water, and so far it's been working out pretty well for the other guys. Arnold's been targeted 15 times in just 2 games. That's not just busy, that's we're coming at you on purpose, busy. Out of those 15 looks, he's given up 10 catches for a chunky 175 yards and a touchdown. And these aren't just dink and dunk completions either. He's been getting hit with explosives. Against Green Bay, he gave up a 42-yard bomb. This past weekend, Chicago hit him for 37. Just for good measure, he also committed a pretty painful pass interference that wiped out a Bears 3rd and 15, setting them up deep in Detroit territory, and sure enough, they punched it in a few plays later. Now, if this feels like deja vu, that's because it kind of is. Last season, Arnold was one of the most targeted corners in the league, 98 times to be exact. That was almost 20 more than the next guy, Amik Robertson. He held up all right with a 61.2% completion rate allowed, but this year he's sitting closer to 66.7%. Not exactly trending the right way. But let's pump the brakes before it turns into a full-blown panic. Arnold's had his moments too. He broke up a nice pass against the Bears and even had a pick. That was unfortunately erased by a roughing the passer flag that didn't exactly look legit. Plus, dude's been playing hurt. He tweaked his groin on the second snap of the season, which definitely hasn't helped his speed or mobility out there. There's also a silver lining in the fact that offenses aren't even looking at DJ Reed or Amik Robertson right now. Robertson hasn't been targeted once this season. Not once. Reed's given up 7 catches on 8 targets, but they've all been underneath throws that he's cleaned up right away. So if you're wondering why Arnold's getting so much attention, well, the rest of the secondary's locking stuff down. And if that already had you worried, buckle up. A brand new update just dropped that could force Brad Holmes to pick up the phone this week. The Lions just lit up the Bears for 52 points and walked out with a blowout win that should have fans buzzing. But let's keep it real. Brad Holmes needs to stop basking in the glow and start dialing the phones. Because even in the middle of that offensive explosion and a solid showing from the defense, there's still one glaring issue this team can't keep ignoring. They need more juice off the edge. Yeah, Marcus Davenport got himself a sack and flashed a little of what made folks excited about him in camp. But the guy can't seem to stay on the field. He left Sunday's game twice, once with an ankle, then later with a shoulder. And after the game, he straight up admitted he has no clue what's going on with that shoulder yet. Campbell said more info's coming Monday, but regardless, it's not great. That leaves Detroit thin at a position that already felt flimsy heading into the season. Josh Pascal, still out. Alain McNeil and Ahmed Hassanin, same deal. Tyrus Wheat got claimed and technically has to stay on the roster 2 more weeks, but he hasn't even suited up yet, so clearly the coaches aren't too eager to throw him out there. Keith Cooper's chilling on the practice squad, but the kid's probably not ready for real Sunday action. Outside of Hutchinson, all that's left in the room right now is Al-Quadin Muhammad and Pat O'Connor. That's it. That's the list. And if you're trying to keep Lamar Jackson in check next week and Joe Burrow the week after, you better have more than one guy who can get after the quarterback. Nobody's asking for Holmes to swing for a Von Miller or Nick Bosa type. This isn't about landing a superstar. This is about adding someone who can give you 15-20 meaningful snaps a game without the whole thing falling apart if your starters go down. And there might already be a guy just sitting there waiting for a shot. Azeez Ojulari has been a healthy scratch for the Eagles for 2 straight weeks. That's wild for a guy who, not that long ago, was racking up sacks and pressures for the Giants. Philly clearly doesn't have him in the plans. So why not pick up the phone and offer a 7th rounder to take him off their hands? He's not a long-term fix or a defensive savior, but he's proven he can get after the quarterback. And right now, that's exactly what Detroit needs. Arnold is being targeted a lot and needs to step up fast, but ignoring the pass rush hole would be a huge mistake. Holmes has to act now. If you're a Lions fan, hit that subscribe so you don't miss a thing.